Dear President, board members, members of the Brewers of Europe, dear members of Parliament, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to speak today for the Brewers of Europe. Founded in 1958, as just said, the organization is almost as old as the European Union itself. The Federation and the European Union have a long tradition of cooperation. And the European Parliament Beer Club, headed by Marianne Thijssen, a typical beer drinker, involving up to 200 members, is a living proof of this. Ages older than both the European breweries and the European Union is the product beer itself. Already in the Egyptian written history, there are references to the production of some kind of beer production. And this was spread through Europe 3,000 years before Christ by Germans, Germanic and Celtic tribes. Brewing beer was during a long period a domestic, small-scale activity. And today, beer is the most popular beverage in the world. After water, I see a lot of water here, too much, I think, and tea. European beer is known and respected in the world. Important multinational companies, often with European roots, are active on a global scale. I take the floor here today as a tribute to my grandparents, who were tenants of a pub 30 kilometers from here, near Louvain. I am a beer drinker. I even rarely taste wine, red wine. This means that I am in good company today, and ladies and gentlemen, so are you. A European motto says that our strength is our unity in diversity. This applies certainly for beer throughout Europe. Beer is part of our common European heritage and culture. And at the basis are still mainly four natural products: water, barley, hops, and yeast. But its varieties are numerous. Diversity is unique everywhere in Europe. We have typical, regional, or even local varieties of beer. Beer is an entire part of the culture of countries or regions of production. Just to name a few, and now I take a risk, I know. We have the Pilsner from Czech Republic, Guinness from Ireland, the Dutch Heineken, the Belgian Duvel, but there are a lot of others, I saw Alkenmaas, I have to, okay, thank you, Yannick, yeah. And my brother-in-law is a monk in the monastery of West-Vleteren. So there are a lot of good beers. In the village of my grandparents, there were two breweries, as in a lot of Belgian and Flemish communes until the end of the 50s. Although breweries use today the most innovative technology, the production process still happens along the traditional methods. Beer is culture and tradition, but beer is also economy. A recent analysis of the European beer market made by a well-known consultant in 2009 shows us important figures about the economic contribution of the breweries in the 27 member states of the European Union, Turkey, Norway, Croatia, and Switzerland. With almost 3,800 breweries, these breweries produce 427 million hectoliters per year, which is a quarter of worldwide beer production and more than the United States and more than China. This generates a total added value of 59 billion euros on a yearly basis. We talk about an open and export-oriented sector. Almost 20% of the Europe production amount of beer is for export, of which 60% goes outside the European Union. The most important target for export is the United States. The most exporting countries are this country, Belgium, Ireland, Denmark, and the Netherlands. They have big, well-known breweries, and still 95% of the European breweries have the typical European small to medium-sized enterprise structure. The yearly beer consumption in Europe represents a total consumer spending of 124 billion euros. Almost 72% of this amount consists of turnover in pubs, bars and restaurants, the remaining part in supermarkets. Breweries also keep other sectors vital: agriculture, packaging industry and the services sector. In total, 25 billion euros a year is purchased in these sectors. And it is partly because of the strength of the European breweries that the EU is still #1 in hops and malts production. Also, the effects on employment is considerable. We talk about 2.5 million direct and indirect jobs, of which 6% in the breweries, 6% in retail, 15% in supply, and 73% in bars, restaurants, and pubs. Beer also plays an important social role, not only an economic role, but an important social role. And it is a symbol of hospitality, of conviviality, of social cohesion. It brings people together. In many parts of Europe, various social traditions and activities are associated with beer consumption. Playing cards, playing darts, or other pub games, beer festivals are organized and popular all over the world. The most known festival in Europe is certainly the Oktoberfest in Munich. This year it was organized for the 200th time, and it gathered millions of people from all over the world in Germany. Culture and sport events are often sponsored by beer brands. In Belgium, for instance, the national football competition is linked to a beer brand. Jupiler not to know. There is also a dimension of responsibility here. We know the harm that overconsumption of alcohol can bring. The brewers of Europe fully play their role here. You are at the basis of the Alcohol and Health Forum, which was set up in 2007, implementing the EU's policies. Moreover, important commitments were taken to tackle alcohol-related harm and to advertise along ethical standards. Ladies and gentlemen, beer and beer producers are important for Europe. They are culture ambassadors for Europe. They deliver a major contribution to the economy. They strengthen social cohesion in a responsible way. Europe fully recognizes these values. The European Union wants to create the right climate to help you meet the challenges you face, such as the effects of the economic downturn, changing consumer preferences, imperfections of the single market, and the pressure to remain competitive and innovative.